Yeah.
All right, welcome to the People's Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Doug By, here as always with Mike Rossi, G Money, and the purple dinosaur.
Dino.
Dino. We got Dino in the
What?
house. So Andy, Andy's a man of his word. He lost in DK this week, and this was his punishment.
Happy to be here, boys. Happy to be here.
He's wagging his tail all over the place to be here.
We just found out that was your middle name too, though, so it works.
That is my middle name. Yeah.
Just give it to the world.
Nice.
This guy's not Italian.
Get you my social security number next episode.
Mother's maiden name.
Street I grew up on. Whatever you need.
Best friend growing up. All right. We got a packed show. We're going to be talking champs and chumps of the week. We got our panic meter. We got Joe's beef of the week. We got buy low, sell high. We're doing pickups and drops. And we got Andy's QB stream of the week. So let's get started with the champs and chumps of the week. Mike, why don't you get started with that?
A few champs. I got Will Levis and DeAndre Hopkins. You heard last week, all fantasy experts were telling you bench Hopkins, right? Because Levis and Willis are going to be their quarterback. His quarterback is not going to do anything, and they just came out and they shut everybody up. So much so that they already came out and said that Tannehill needs another week to rest. So Will Levis has an opportunity to come out and do it again and at least get the start for one more week. So he's the third quarterback to throw 4 touchdowns in his first career game. Guys, any guesses on who the other two were? I'll give you teams because it's ridiculous to actually guess who it was. But you got the Minnesota Vikings and think old school.
4 touchdowns. First game. Culpepper.
Now old school.
Like way
France Tarkenton. It's got to be France Tarkenton.
It is, yes. And the other one, same team as the Titans. I mean, same
Warren
team
Moon?
as Will Levis. No.
Oh,
So is it
McNair?
Oilers?
No, it was the Titans.
Oh, it was Titans. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Steve
yeah.
McNair was
Tannehill?
a good guess.
Oh,
No.
Mariota. It's got to be
Mariota.
Yeah,
Oh,
big stats.
Mariota.
Yeah.
Let's hope that Levis is a little bit better career than Mariota, but he came out hot. And then for chumps, just any team located in New Jersey. That game was just disgusting. It was so ugly. Listen, I'm gonna count on my fingers how many passing yards the Giants had. That many.
-9
Should
net.
have won.
It was
Man, they
-9
should
net.
have
I
won.
know. I'm gonna count on my fingers how many combined third down conversions they had. That many. One hand. 4.
What was it?
And then they had 24
How many?
24 punts for over 1,000 yards. Over 1,000 yards of punting. It was just an ugly game. And I mean, the Jets won, but no one won that game.
Aaron Rodgers won that game. That's who won that game.
Very true. Yes.
Yeah, that was the third most punts ever in an NFL game. That happened yesterday. Andy, who's your champs and chumps of the week?
I had DeAndre up there, but Mike doesn't read anybody else's shit. And then Alvin Kamara. I mean, we haven't talked about him at all, I don't think, at least on the episodes I've been on. Dude just got suspended, came back, and doesn't look like anything's changed. It looks like Sean Payton's still there. He gets targeted a million times a game. He's averaging 22.76 in the PPR. He's fucking unstoppable. I don't know why anybody had any doubt for him, but he's killing it.
Agreed.
Andy, you never said anything about Hopkins. I'm reading the text right now.
Oh.
Did you write it on a rock or something? Engraved it in a rock?
Engraved.
Sent it with a pigeon carrier.
Yeah. So who do you have for
Do you have
chumps
any
this
chumps?
weekend?
I mean, just the Chiefs
Yeah,
in
you.
general. Just
The
the Chiefs. The bum-ass Chiefs lost to the Broncos. Couldn't do anything on offense. Horrible game for them fantasy-wise. Fuck them.
Joe, who's your champs and chumps?
Champs of the week. One of my big DraftKings guys, it was CD Lamb. He went 12 for 158, 2 scores, big game. Gus Edwards with 3 touchdowns, obviously big game for him. And then Trey McBride, 10 for 95 and a touchdown out in Arizona. Obviously, Arizona wasn't competing in this game early on, but made a push at the end, and McBride got a lot of targets. Chumps, Andy just touched on it, Pat Mahomes. No touchdowns, 2 picks. I mean, what are we doing? And then Cooper Kupp, 4 for 21. Really thought Cooper Kupp was going to get targeted more this game. Thought they were going to have to bounce back because I thought the Cowboys were going to score on their defense, but they just had no answer on offense yesterday.
Yeah. And I mean, so just guys you guys didn't mention, I have here Bengals offense. They all look good. You know, I think they're back. Joe Burrow had over 27 points in 4-point PPR, or 4-point passing. He had over 32, I think, in my league, 33 maybe, and 6-point. Chase had over 20 points. Mixon had a ton of points. They all look good, and they get the Bills this week, right? Or next week, you said?
Yes, sir.
The Bills?
Yeah. Sunday night.
All right. And yeah, as far as like Chumps, I had Tony Pollard. He was on there. He hasn't gotten more than 10 points PPR in the last like 5 weeks or something. Or 3 out of the last 4. So it was something like that. It's bad. And
Feels good not to have that on your
Joe's
team
got
anymore.
a big smile on his face because we made that trade. Yeah, it's pretty wild that the Cowboys scored as many points as they did, and Pollard just really had very little to do with the game. So I'm hoping that changes here soon. And that's about it. So let's jump into our panic meter. And first guy I want to talk about is that guy. I want to talk about Tony Pollard. Where you guys at on him? Let's see. So Joe's got a 7. I got a 6. Andy's got a 6. And Mike is a 6. All right. So we're all thinking kind of the same here. Joe, go ahead and talk about your 7 then.
I mean, I traded him to you, Doug, because I didn't think he was going to do it anymore. I was big on Tony Pollard coming into this year. I thought this offensive line was going to be a little bit better too. They haven't looked as good as they've looked in years past. And Pollard just hasn't been explosive, and he hasn't been as involved in the passing game as I thought he was going to. I don't think he caught his first pass yesterday till like the third quarter. Just not as primarily focal point of this offense as I thought he would be. And I don't know. I mean, the passing game looked good yesterday. So obviously that concerns me more on him, but I'm relieved he's not on my team that I don't have to worry about anymore.
I'm hoping for a bounce back, but with Zeke gone, it's kind of odd that he's just, like you say, he's not the focal point. They're not using him like we all thought he was going to be used. He's not catching the ball as much as he was. He doesn't look as explosive. There's something up. I know he had some kind of a surgery actually in the offseason. Well, he broke his leg last year in the playoffs, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Something's up with him. He doesn't look as explosive. But Andy, what do you think? You kind of on the same page?
Yeah, I wasn't as high as you guys, but I still really like Pollard coming into the year, and his usage is surprising. And it's not even like they have like anybody else. It's not like somebody like snuck in and Deuce is killing it or something. They just, the running game is just kind of non-existent.
Yeah, it is. No, they got like Rico Dowell or something and Deuce, and they're not running the ball. And they weren't even really passing the ball that much actually before this past couple of weeks. So they're winning with their defense. I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping things turn around. All right, let's go to the next guy, Isaiah Pacheco. That was a dumpster fire game, so we might be able to throw this one out. But he had 8 attempts for 40 yards, 3 catches for 3 yards. Where you guys at on him? I'm a 5. Andy's a 6. Mike had to get the pie in there, and Joe's a 4. All right, Mike, you're not too worried about Pacheco.
No, I think he's game scripted, and the script kind of flipped early yesterday, so he was odd man out. But you're not going to see the Chiefs down like that all the time. Mahomes had the flu. It was just a game that they just couldn't pull it together. But if they're up and they're going to do Chiefs things, then he's going to be the guy that's going to ground and pound, and I think he'll bounce back.
Yeah, I tend to agree on that. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's still a top 10, I think, in fantasy on the year for running back. So, I mean, I'm not, I'm not ready to give up on him or anything like that. This is around where I think he would be. That's kind of why I'm at I think I had a 4 or 5 that I put up. But that's the range I see him at because I think he's right where he should be right now.
Yeah, he kind of is, and like you said, he's game scripted, so he's going to be a little more boomer bust, and we kind of all thought that coming into it. So
yeah, no
people got a
matter
little
what,
too excited.
This was going to be a shared backfield, no matter what. They're never ever. I don't think a team like an Andy Reid type team's never going to have one just solid back.
No, and they're never going to be a run team. They have Patrick Mahomes. Andy, you got something to say there? Westbrook?
Well, I mean, yeah, Staley, Westbrook, LaShawn. I mean, it's happening.
Yeah, since he's
Just,
been in Kansas City, who's he had?
well, I mean, he hasn't had any of that talent, but yeah, I think he was a Jamal Charles in
Kareem Hunt.
Jamal's prime. And then Kareem probably got.
Kareem Hunt,
Yeah, you know what,
yeah.
Joe? Shut up.
Kareem Hunt always split time. Jamal Charles, they go look. I guarantee you, they all split more time than you think. Charles had that one good season, and then he got hurt.
Yeah, more than that.
So you're just saying, Joe, more talent. He had more talent before. You're saying it's still a split backfield. They just don't have the talent they had.
Jamal Charles, the all-time leader in yards per carry. There's a fact for you.
Isn't it like 6 something?
I think it's 6 or 6
really
1.
high.
It's like
Yeah,
it's right on the.
That's insane.
But to Joe's point, I think it is that high because he only ran the ball like 10 to 12 times a game, I feel like.
He ran more than that, but yeah, he wasn't
He wasn't like he wasn't a bell cow. All right. Joe's looking up stats, so
Of course he is. Of course he is. And the fact that he's silent means that he didn't find anything to say.
No, he had.
Well,
so
he's still
I will
looking.
say he had more 1,000-yard seasons than I thought, but I mean, he never had more than 1,500 was his highest.
Who's that? Jamal
5,000-yard seasons. Yeah.
Didn't he? I mean, I think he had the highest fantasy points in one game ever. I think. Could be wrong about that.
He's up there. No, he
He's
definitely because
LT,
we talked about this with the Achan one that week. I forget, but he was up there with one.
Yeah, he was over 50 points. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next. These are a couple guys here. It's Puka and Cup. Excuse me. Puka and Cup.
Puka and Cup.
So they combined for 9.9 points in half PPR. And there's the concern with Stafford, right? What's going on with Stafford? I'm a 6.
Yeah.
Mike's a 5. Joe's a 5. Andy's a 5. Yeah, you guys, we're all thinking pretty similar tonight. Just a little scary. Dino, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I mean the concern isn't with either one of the receivers. It's probably just a Stafford thing, who hasn't looked great in his past few games, and then you throw in that UCL injury, I think it was, in his throwing thumb, which puts him day to day. Not really something they can afford. And you know, the Kyron Williams thing, they really kind of lack explosion. I know Royce has been getting it done, but and Henderson, but there's no explosion there in the running game. So
did you see him on that screen pass?
Yeah, I think these things combine to make it more of a concern for their surroundings than it is for them themselves.
Yeah, and do we know about Stafford? Last thing I saw is they're not ruling out IR.
I
saw day to day.
Okay.
Yeah, the MRI came out negative, so it's a sprain, not a tear. And I think they're saying, day to day instead of like the 6 weeks surgery if he tore it. But I'm kind of scared because they have a bye week 10. So I think they might hold Stafford out for week 9 just to be completely healthy coming out of the bye. So that's 2 weeks without, and that's the only reason why I am even a 5. But I think once Stafford's back week 11, then you should be confident with Puka and Cup come playoff times. So.
Yeah. So maybe a buy low on these guys, you thinking?
Oh yeah.
If you're in the position to do it, sure. Yeah. I would.
Because that's 3 weeks that they're not going to be very useful for a team that's, maybe in a losing record or something. All right. Let's talk about the next guy, Dalton Schultz. This past weekend, he had 5 targets, 2 receptions for 5 yards. That was just an ugly game by Houston against an 0-6 Carolina team.
Fucking
Mike's
CJ Stroud cost
Joe's
me
a
1,300.
4. Joe's a 4. I'm a 4. Mike's a 7, and Andy's a 5. So, Mike, go ahead and talk about your 7.
I just don't trust this offense. And you kind of just saw it right there. The Panthers 0-6 made CJ Stroud look like a rookie again and couldn't do anything. I mean, Nico was useless and Tank with his whole offense was useless. So I think when you have a tight end that's already boom or bust, and then you have an offense that's boom or bust to go with it, it's just not somebody I want to take the chance on at the tight end position.
Yeah, I made a really stupid mistake in that 16-team league. I texted it to you guys. I sat Taysom Hill, but not only that, I sat McBride. I sat both of those guys for Dalton
You
Schultz.
had both. Wow.
You have 3 tight ends.
I stacked up on tight ends in that league because there's trash out there otherwise, So
Well, it's 16 team, and
exactly.
you're struggling no matter what if you don't get one of those big guys.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna try to trade one of those tight ends. So who wants one?
I just tried to trade Hawkinson in that league. I tried to trade him for Evan Ingram straight up and got laughed at. I'm like, all right, that was a little rude, but all right.
Yeah, I
that's
was
a
with
little
him
rude.
today. He did not like either one of those offers. I was sitting in the golf cart with him, and he did not like those offers. He's like,
who
"This
is
guy
that?
thinks I'm dumb."
Yeah,
He
who
goes,
is it?
"Kirk Cousins just went down. I'm not doing this."
Who is it?
Is that Winpenny?
Still,
Yeah,
is that who that is?
yeah, it's Josh.
Josh. All right.
But to go back to Dalton
go
Schultz, I mean, I wouldn't. I don't understand how you can be as high as a 7 with how tight ends have been doing this year. In the last 3 games, he's had a touchdown with at least he had 42, 65, and 61, all with touchdowns. For a tight end, that's top level from what we've been getting this year.
Yeah, this could just be a down game. And CJ Stroud, he is a rookie, so he's going to have those games.
Yeah, like CJ's been outperforming anything most people expected from him. So, this is a normal, a little bit back to reality, reset, go look at tape, see your mistakes, and learn from it.
All right. Let's go to the next guy. This is a guy I was high on. I'm sorry, Andy, did you want to talk about it?
I really like what Joe said.
Okay.
Really nice.
Really eloquent. Well done.
Yabba-dabba-doo.
All right, this next guy, like I said, I was very high on him early in the year. I declared I'm out on him now. Alexander Madison. This past weekend, he had 16 attempts for 31 yards. That's with a 1.9 average. So, which is kind of ironic because it's Cam Akers territory, right? And he had 1 reception for 2. Where you guys out on him? All right, we're all
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Doug.
So,
keep going.
no, I mean,
just keep talking, Doug.
I think it's Akers' team now. I don't know why Madison got 16 carries for 1.9 average. I'd have to go back and look at exactly what Akers did. I don't think he was amazing, but I know he had a touchdown.
I'll look it up while you talk, Doug.
Yeah. I mean, again, like Madison, he's too sluggish. He's not getting it done. Now we have Kirk Cousins out for the year. It's not going to get any better there for him. And I think they should see what they have in Akers now. That's what I think. What do you have?
It was way better. 9 for 19. Over 2 a carry.
Yeah. So part of it might just be that offensive line sucks run blocking. That could be part of the right problem.
Yeah, could be. When did Cousins how far into the game did Cousins go down?
4th quarter, I think.
Yeah,
well, it was late,
third.
right? So you can't even blame it on that, right?
Fourth,
Because,
yeah.
No, you can't blame it on that. No, it's been trash this year running. He doesn't even have a rushing touchdown yet this year.
I saw some advanced metrics about yards per carry over expected or under expected. And I guess the Vikings line has been incredible. And the running backs have been below expected by the widest margin in the league. It was
So
the Dolphins on one side. It's like the Dolphins on one side and the Vikings on the other. Just apparently it's just they suck at running the ball. Is apparently what's going on.
Wow. Okay.
Can't read the lines.
hey, somebody tell the Vikings that Dalvin Cook is on the block right now. If I could trade for him.
All right. So Madison just sucks. I was wrong. Let's go to everyone's favorite segment. Joe, you ready? Get the hat on backwards.
Oh,
We got Joe's beef of the week. Take it away.
We kept it away from the bets. Don't need to go down that road. We've gone down that road too much. But this week we're gonna talk about Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers. This team is 2-5 right now, and doesn't look like it's gonna get any better. I don't understand. I myself at the beginning, before the year started, thought Jordan Love was trash. Jordan Love is trash. The problem is there's nowhere else to go. If you look behind him, you got Sean Clifford, a rookie backup at a Penn State. So Jordan Love has no pressure for this season. There's nowhere else this team can go. He has a 57% completion percentage, which is 32nd in the league right now. He's got 11 touchdowns, 8 picks, 6.4 average, 26th in the NFL. Why the fuck are they not running the ball more? This team keeps trying to throw the ball. The receivers aren't holding on to it. Reed and Watson have had trouble holding on to the ball. The only one who looks like he can catch is Romeo Doubs right now. But Aaron Jones, who is the best player on this offense, is not getting the fucking football. And as an Aaron Jones owner in fantasy, this doesn't make any fucking sense. He should be a focal point like Eckler and McCaffrey. A.J. Dillon is still getting more carries than him. Aaron Jones has not had more than 9 rushing attempts in a game. Dillon has had double-digit rushing attempts in 5 games. Dillon has a 3.1 average. Jones has a 4.2 average. What the fuck are we doing? This doesn't make any sense why Aaron Jones is not getting the football. This team stinks. They need to hold on to the ball for longer. They should be running the fucking football and playing old school like Cleveland, like Steelers, and let this defense try to keep you in football games. Besides the Lions, this division is not good, especially with Cousins going down. So, Matt LaFleur, you're supposed to be an offensive guy. Turn this fucking team around, get it going, and give Aaron Jones the fucking football. And that's it.
fuck.
It doesn't.
Good,
It's
Joe.
just they've looked awful this year.
All right,
Yeah.
Joe. Thank you for that. That was good. They're really bad. Everyone watching that can tell that they should be running the ball with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. So, all right, let's jump into our next segment. Let's talk buy low, sell high. Mike, get us started with buy low.
What a great segue.
Yeah,
My buy low is Christian Watson.
there you go. Perfect segue.
Just sitting here
Didn't even know.
that whole time, like, "Ooh, damn, this is rough." And what I got going next.
Literally did not know if you texted. You was your
I
buy
did.
low. I missed it, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with what you're saying. I don't think Jordan Love is anything special, but I do think that there's something missing on this offense, and Christian Watson is the one to provide it. Is my thought process. He's been back for 2 weeks now, and obviously it takes a while. When you look at the receivers on this team, nobody was really explosive. And Jordan Love wasn't used to throwing to a guy with this much speed, so he's missing it right now. But he's thrown him the ball. He had 3 opportunities for touchdowns this past week. Once at the 1 yard line, they gave him the jump ball, and Jordan Love missed the throw. The second time, it was like at the 10-yard line, and Christian Watson couldn't get both feet down. And then he tried a third time from like the 34, and he was open, and Jordan Love missed it again. So I think it's a timing thing right now, and they're going to connect eventually. And once they do, I just don't see it looking back. And I'm not saying that Christian Watson is going to be somebody that's going to end up like a wide receiver 1, but I think you can get him for basically nothing right now. Just keep him on your bench until you see it happening. And it could be something to, have a nice game or 2 in the playoffs for you.
All right. Yeah. I mean, you have some equity in that. You traded for him in my league, right?
Well,
and
then I
you
traded him the
traded
next
him
day.
away. Yeah. Do you have him in any other leagues?
I have him in, I think, 2 out of my 6.
Okay. All right. Andy, who's your buy low of the week?
Buy low is DK Metcalf. It's been a little ugly over there for him, but I said to sit him this week. I didn't like his matchup. The dude still got 14 targets. 14. 1-4. It's an incredible amount of targets. He's already had his bye, and his remaining schedule, not even just his playoff schedule, but his remaining schedule is easy as pie. So I would go get DK, and the people I would trade for him, once again, I try to always give something here. If you are just trying to upgrade at wide receiver, it pains me to say, in a non-keeper league, I would trade Puka straight up for DK. And as a running back, if you're a running back heavy team, you need to upgrade. I think if you have Saquon, get away from the Giants if you can. And I would go straight up Saquon right now for DK.
Okay. I don't mind that. I think running backs right now, they're such a premium. That's what's tough about that.
Yeah. I mean, if you got Saquon, chances are you probably don't have a lot of backs, right? You probably spent a good pick on him earlier, a lot of your budget.
Yeah.
And you probably spent elsewhere afterwards.
Yep. All right, Joe, who's your buy low?
Buy low is DJ Moore. DJ Moore hasn't had more than 55 yards receiving in the past 3 games. So he hasn't had that, obviously we've said he's a boomer bust guy. He hasn't had a boom game in a while, so you could probably get him low. Fields is week to week, so there's a possibility he could be back this weekend. But if not, he's probably back next week. Bajent just came off a bad game, so they got to be worried about his quarterback right now. But he's still getting a fair amount of targets. So he's still seeing the ball being tried to force his way. So if Bajent and him can get on the same page, I think that he's going to do a lot better than 55 yards. So I think now is the time to try to get DJ Moore back.
It's so funny, man, because I feel like we've had DJ Moore on this segment as buy low or sell high like 4 or 5 different times. And it just goes to
so no matter whatever segment he's in is what we're talking about.
Right, exactly. And it kind of just goes to show what he is, right? Because he is a boom or bust guy. So he's going to boom one week is like sell high, and then he's going to bust buy low. But yeah, that's kind of where it's at with him. All right, my guy is Nico Collins. He's still 15th at wide receiver in half PPR. I think he was like, and this is a guy that I talked about like 3 or 4 weeks into it, where he was like 7th overall. And Andy asked me, you think he's going to be top 12? And I had a presidential answer to it, right? But and then eventually I was like, yeah, why not? Maybe. I think he's going to be though. He's coming off 3 subpar performances against Atlanta, New Orleans, and Carolina, who I think all are better defenses than we thought coming into the year, right? His next 5 games are against the 28th, 20th, 17th, 31st, and 27th ranked defenses in pass yards allowed. All right, that's the Bucks, Bengals, Cards, Jags, and Broncos. So he has a very favorable matchups coming up in the next 5 weeks. He just had his bye week last week. Go get him now while you can. I'm all about Nico Collins the rest of the way. I think he's going to be a good number 2 / high-end flex the rest of the way. All right.
A big stain on my shirt. What the hell?
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. I like it though, Doug.
Great analysis.
I have a belly button.
Yeah.
I like turtles.
Mike, who is your sell high?
Sell high.
My sell high is kind of right in play with Andy's buy low. It's Tyler Lockett. He came out on a mission yesterday with all this JSN talk and just said, fuck you, I'm the wide receiver 2 in Seattle. Had 8 for 81 in the score. But I just think with 3 legit wide receivers there, because they're all good, I'm taking a week where he had 18, 19, whatever format you're playing points, and selling them while you can, because it's a guessing game with who's going to do it. And when they get in the goal line, it's usually Kenneth Walker anyway. So I don't know. I think Tyler Lockett is one of those players that can come out and get 5 targets and have a 3 for 40 type of game. And I'd rather just sell him while I can right now. So
yeah, it's getting more that way with JSN getting more involved. And then Like you said, Andy, DK having 14 targets. You don't know. And Gino just really hasn't been putting the points together, though. His production isn't there, even though he's got 3 stud wide receivers.
Gino
at
more... times is looking a lot like older Gino.
Yeah.
Especially in the goal line. So that's why they just keep giving it to Kenneth Walker.
Yeah. All right. Andy, who's your sell high?
I copped out a little bit here. Little double dip of Vikings targets. Addison, Hawkinson. Obviously, Kirk goes down. They're starting a rookie who's like 30 years old coming out of BYU. But, if you can get 95 cents on the dollar for these guys, just get rid of them now. I mean, if Justin Jefferson comes back, their value drops even further. There's really no need to hold on to them. If you can get value for them, they're both still very skilled. So, not complete fire sale, at least until you see maybe a full game or two of this rookie. But, if you can go out and, I tried to do this earlier, but if you could get Evan Ingram for either one of them, I would pull the trigger on that. So.
Yeah, you tried earlier and it didn't work out.
No.
Isn't it Nick Mullins once he's back, right? Isn't he he's like designated to return
back,
right now?
I think it is. Yeah. Right now it's a rookie. What's his name? I heard earlier that he actually was Puka's quarterback in college, though.
Yeah, BYU.
I did hear that earlier. Yeah. I forget his name too, but I think Nick Mullins, they're saying, could be back for week 10. And Nick Mullins, I think he averaged like good numbers in San Francisco when he played there, right? And then you put it with JJ and Addison. I don't know. It could at least save the fantasy aspect of them.
It's serviceable.
Yeah.
I think did Andy's wife just see what he's dressed as? Is that what you're saying? Oh, all right.
Nothing to see here.
I sent all my friends over the house to peek through his windows the whole time.
Joe, sell high.
Sell high, and this is only because most people don't probably have him as a starter. Most people, he's probably their backup quarterback. But I'd try to sell Sam Howell if you have him as a second option right now, especially to teams who have Kirk Cousins or someone like that who just went down as their starter. There's not a lot of waiver claims that are better options than Sam Howell, or that teams can feel comfortable with week to week and relying on them. So that's where I think if you have a secondary quarterback like this who just came off, he was the best quarterback in fantasy this week. What better time to sell him than if he's your second quarterback? Try to get the most and move him.
Yeah, he was playing a trash team this week though, so that's why those numbers are inflated.
Yeah, it's trash secondary.
Yeah.
He's kind of like
secondary. Darius Slay got hurt. So, come on, give him a little bit of a break there. It was Byard's first game with the Eagles, so better days are to come.
Listen, if the Redskins defense plays a little bit better, you're 0-2 against the Redskins this year.
Yeah, because that's their name.
Commanders, whatever.
And racist.
Yeah, unbelievable. Joe won't be on the show next week. He's going to get suspended for a week or two.
It's canceled.
Yeah. Joe's been canceled by the 50 viewers we have. They're going to protest. Picket line.
Listen, man, some names are better than others. What do you want?
Commanders is the fucking
God
worst
awful.
name in
It's
sports.
so bad.
It's so bad.
So bad. I refuse to call him that.
Yeah, I just say Washington every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rossi called him like Manders earlier. I'd rather call him that.
Manders is better.
Yeah, Manders is better.
The Washington football team was better than Commanders.
It was.
Agree.
It was better.
Completely agree. Yeah. Not a name is better than the name they came up with. Than the name they paid people to come up with. All right. My guy's Gus Edwards. I'm just going to keep on picking running backs who score 3 touchdowns and have a career week the week before. And then I'm going to tell you to sell him high every time. And I got some numbers. So he had 28.4 fantasy points on 80 yards with 3 touchdowns this past week. That's coming off of 20.9 the previous week, where he had a 80-yard reception. Like, that doesn't happen with Gus Edwards. He's not going to be catching the ball like that. Before those 2 games, he averaged 6.5 points per game in the previous 6 games he played this year. He's averaged 7.8 points per game in his career. These last 2 games are very much outliers of his career. This is not going to continue. Sell him now while you can. I know Joe's a Gus guy. Sell him now. Go get a guy like a Nico Collins if you can at wide receiver, or a Christian Kirk. Go get one of those guys who are going to be reliable and give you some points. Andy,
guys, I really messed up. I
What?
really messed up when I last week before DeAndre Hopkins went off and Gus Edwards went off, I traded both of them for T. Higgins. I only would have waited one more week.
That's right. T. Higgins had an okay game. Bengals offense coming back. You'll be all right.
Better than Brandon Powell's, I can tell you that.
For sure.
That's true. That's true. Your
He
star
got hurt
of the
though,
week.
didn't he? I think he got hurt.
Didn't matter.
My sleeper got hurt.
Eeyore over here.
All right, let's do our pickups and drops of the week. We're switching up a little bit because we didn't know what the hell to do with waivers. Right? Every week we were just kind of like, let's just throw out a bunch of names and just ramble on about them. So, Mike, who's your pickups and drops that you got?
How many names am I supposed to? Am I naming one player? Or
I think we're just going to continue rambling on because we didn't really solidify this segment either.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right. So I'll name one, then I'll let somebody else have the next. And we'll go round table till we're out of names.
Sure.
So a pickup. I mean, it has to be Trey McBride. Joe already talked about him. He went off. I don't understand this Cardinals team because why were they playing Zach Ertz so much? Like Trey McBride looks so much better than Zach Ertz did with his targets. And to have a big game like that, he's 20% owned. For me, he might be the top waiver ad of the week. He is going against Cleveland next week. So if you have a serviceable tight end, maybe it's a wait and see if you can do it again type of player. But I wouldn't mind playing him right away either.
Okay, who do you have for a drop?
A drop, guys, I hate to say it. I really do, but it's Elijah Moore. You can just drop him. Okay. Anybody that's been holding him because I told you he was going to be a league winner, it's okay. This is my official statement. Drop him.
This is my official statement.
It feels good though, doesn't it, Mike? Just get it.
It feels awful.
You know?
I'm not doing it for the record.
Get it off your shoulders.
I'm just so dumb and I'm scared of what could happen when I do drop him. I'm telling everybody else, make the right move and do it, but I'm not doing it. So.
Okay. Joe, what do you have for pickup and drops?
So for pickup, I got Jameson Crowder. I like how he looked this week. I think he it's the style of guy that Sam Howell likes to throw to. Obviously, we saw he was liking Curtis Samuel. I think Crowder is another guy like this. And I think they're just going to have more connections. He had, I think it was 9 targets he had, which he took in 7 for 95 and a touchdown. So I definitely see this offense passing more and relying on that and him getting worked into the offense.
He's always been a really good slot guy. He just injuries that just derailed that guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who's your drop? You got a drop? Drops are tough.
I am done with this guy. And if I was the team, I don't think you get any value trying to trade him. Alexander Mattison, I'm dropping. I don't even want him on my bench. I think there's no hope for this guy anymore. And I think it's just you gotta throw the towel in on it.
There's no hope, he says.
You beat me to the punch, Joe. I had him on here.
I'm sorry to steal that from you, Doug.
No, I completely agree with you. It's all right. I've talked enough about him.
Yeah.
Andy, who's your pickups and drops?
My pickup is going to be short term, but Khalil Shakur. If the Bills, Dawson Knox is down for however many weeks, and they're gonna stay on 11 personnel, that means that the third wide receiver is going to be on the field, and it looks like Khalil has pretty much locked that up. So, and he looks like he understands the offense more than he did beginning of the year, and certainly last year. So, if he's on the field, high-powered offense, he's a good pickup. He's only owned in, I think, like 4% of leagues or something. I looked it up, but I didn't write it down.
He's a little speedster. I have him at 1% actually on Fantasy Pros. 1%.
There we go. And then my drop at a whopping 86% owned. Miles Sanders. Just fucking get rid of him. Trade him if you can. If you can get something for him, or get him the fuck out. Just get rid of him.
Do you know I was gonna say no to that offer, by the way, if you didn't cancel it.
I was laughing.
I hate him so much. When I saw you offered him to me, I was like, what's he doing?
Who was it for?
Giggling.
Yeah, I want to hear more
Latavius
about this.
Murray, and I still would have said no.
Oh, it's
Who?
Latavius Murray?
Latavius
Oh,
Murray.
okay.
That's funny.
Uh,
All right. I had him on there too. I like that. Kid looked like a little speedster, Shakir, for pickups, that is. So one of the guys I have on here, and you guys kind of poo-pooed it last maybe Wednesday or whatever. Andy, you weren't here. But it was Demario Douglas, right? The kid looks great. He does. Like, he looks like the only guy that has any kind of explosiveness on that offense. Now you have
Well, now that Kendrick Bourne's gone.
Now you got Kendrick Bourne gone for the year. And then also Devontae Parker, he got hurt in that game. I don't know if he's going to play. He's the only guy you can trust and throw to right now. And he's a little speedster. I think they can kind of do things with him. So I like him a lot. And he's only owned in 3%. So go out and get him. He's a realistic go out and get. For drops, I did have Madison. I got Tutu Atwell on there. You know, we were talking about Puka and Cup and how we're worried about them. If you're worried about the top two guys, then you should be very worried about the third guy on that list. So Tutu Atwell, I think he's droppable right now if you got to go get a guy. You got any more, Mike?
I agree. No, I got plenty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had Douglas on my list, so you weren't alone in that one.
Okay.
But I got another explosive fella, Rashid Shaheed. That guy. It's all he does is make big plays. So I could have had him. Andy offered me Shaheed, and I said no. I want Tyler Algier. Dumb play, very very dumb play. But he's owned in 36% of leagues, and I don't think he's a week to week. I mean, he's not a week to week starter. He's a big play dependent, but I would pick him up. And if you're in a matchup where you're the severe underdog, and you can't afford like an 8, 9, 10 point game, you need the explosive big play potential, then Shaheed's perfect for that because he can come out and get 3 for 150 and a touchdown and win you a week. So he's good for those type of matchups, but I'm not playing him week to week. And then another drop. We just talked about Tutu being the third option. I'm dropping the fourth option, Tyler Higbee. If he's still, he's 54% owned still. Just get rid of him. You have better options like Trey McBride, and I'm sure somebody will bring up Taysom Hill. Go pick up those guys. Get Higbee off your roster.
Agreed. Joe, who's your next? Got any other guys?
The only other guy I had was Rossi just mentioned his name is Taysom Hill.
Okay.
So it looks like they got him back going with the Wildcat offense, which we touched upon last week, that they should be doing that more, doing it near the goal line more. And the kid had 2 touchdowns this weekend. I think he had 60 yards or somewhere around there for rushing on 9 attempts. So even though Johnson's back and he's not playing as much in the tight end spot, now they're using him more in the Wildcat. So I think he's a definitely a solid pickup and play either flex or tight end spot. Yeah,
it's smart. I mean, just we keep on talking about how he's just a beast when he's running the ball, and he's so talented. He can play quarterback, tight end, running back. Like, you have to have that guy in the field as much as you can.
And they signed Jamal Williams for the role that Taysom Hill is still playing. Like, Jamal Williams doesn't get goal line; it's Taysom Hill.
Yeah. All right, Joe, did you say a drop or no? No, you just had that pickup.
I just had that pickup. I was looking up one guy's stats to see if he's worth dropping, but maybe not yet. I was debating.
I was just going to say
his name out there.
But he's getting close.
He's borderline.
Yeah, he is. Jamal Williams, though, you just brought it up. I think he's droppable guy now.
Yeah.
What do you have? Like, we've talked about it. I think he had like 17 touchdowns last year. He's not going to get maybe a touchdown this year, the way this is looking right now with Taysom Hill and all that. So Andy, who you got any more guys for pickups and drops?
Yeah, I got a couple more for you. Royce Freeman. I know it's still short term, but he's only owned in 22% of Yahoo leagues.
Mhm.
I mean, he's better than you're probably a running back or two on your bench for the coming weeks. So he's worth a pickup. And then a drop. Somehow Jerick McKinnon is still owned in 34% of Yahoo leagues. So drop him and pick up Royce Freeman. Yeah, just do the old, just flip him around. There you go.
Little flipper. All right, Mike, you got any more guys?
I'll just go quick. Sam Howell, I have on my list. He's still 45% owned. And if you have a quarterback that you're starting, then you can play a little two-man game. Just play the matchups. I mean, obviously, if you have a stud, don't do that. But if you're, Dak or somebody in that range, then I would play the matchups with Howell. And then DeMarcado, he's still 36% owned. You have at least a week out of him. Yeah, it's against Cleveland, but with buys and injuries, he got 20 carries. So just take the volume. And then for drops, I have Matthew Stafford on there because he's 71%. I think most people are going to do it already. But some people might, just because of the name, hold on to him. I think if he plays this week, he's not going to do anything. He's got the bye week 10, and he hasn't produced even before the injury anyway.
All right. A few more running backs here. Darrell Henderson, he's still only 45% owned. You mentioned Royce Freeman. Henderson, I think, still had the bulk amount of really production, touches at least. Not production because Royce had the touchdown, but Darrell Henderson had that one, I think he had 45-yard catch or something like that, right?
Yeah, big screen pass.
Yeah. And then a couple other running backs. Zach Charbonnet, he's only owned in 42%, and he actually out carried Kenneth what's his name? Walker. he actually he out carried him this past weekend. Justice Hill.
Know that. Wow.
Yeah. Justice Hill, another guy, 37% owned. Again, Gus Edwards had the 3 touchdowns, but Justice Hill was much more efficient when he was touching the ball. So just a few other guys. All right. That's all I got. Latavius Murray, maybe he's a drop now. Andy, now that Fournette's in play?
No, I don't think so. No.
What do you think Fournette's going to do? You think he's going to mess up James Cook a little bit or what?
No, I think for right now, he's probably practice squad. And then depending on Damian Harris's injury, if he's not coming back, he might slide into that role. But Latavius, I think's role is pretty much the same. James Cook, though, ran hard 2 weeks in a row.
I was just going to say, so Latavius' role is going to be at the 3-yard line, 2-yard line, run the ball and get tackled. That's what he's going to be doing.
More or less, yeah. Okay. Yeah. The old tough 1.5-yard run.
Yeah. All right. Unbelievable. Josh Allen should get all those carries right there. And why are they not doing the tush push with Josh Allen?
They ran Josh Allen last week, and it was fucking glorious.
Yeah, they finally did.
They have not done that. It gets him going, man. He just wants to run people over.
He does.
Which is awesome to watch.
He's got some Taysom Hill in him.
I mean, that whole offense energizes off of it too, though. Like they look like they want to play more when he does stuff like that.
Just the whole team.
Yeah.
The whole sideline goes crazy. Crowd goes crazy. Just a necessary evil.
Fires them all up. But honestly, though, why aren't they doing the tush push? I mean,
I think they that's how Josh got his touchdown on Thursday, isn't it? The tush push. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. Mike's not having it. All right. Let's Andy, you got your QB streams of the week or what?
Oh yeah. Let's see. I mean the obvious one, right? Got to be Will Levis. 238, 4 touchdowns. I mean, I know they weren't really respecting him for some reason. You figure after the first 2 bombs to DeAndre Hopkins, Jesus Christ, that they would maybe keep safeties back, but no. And then that pass to the dude whose name I can never say, number 15. Anybody? Westbrook, Canadian.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Westbrook.
that pass was
just
beautiful.
say Westbrook.
Yeah, Westbrook.
Yeah, all you gotta say is Westbrook.
That pass was gorgeous.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 4% owned, and I mean he could be like a possible QB saver for your league. We don't know, but after 1 week, there's certainly worth taking all the risk on him. And then it finally happened. Thank the Lord. Desmond Ritter got benched because he sucks.
No, he
Yes,
didn't.
he did. Yeah, he did, Mike. Yeah, he did. And Taylor Heineke came in and he looked like we all thought, better than Desmond Ritter. So 1% owned. He's going up against a Vikings team that's they have to just be distraught over there. They're worse than we all thought they were going to be. Jefferson gets hurt. Now Kirk's out for the season. They were just playing for nothing out there. So I expect that to be kind of a nice matchup for him in his first game back as a starter.
Sucks so bad because the Vikings have such a good schedule coming up here. And I don't know. I thought they're going to make a run at it. And then was hoping JJ was going to come back,
Yeah, that as somebody that just traded for Jefferson, it sucks because I don't know how fast they're going to push him back now, and if at all.
If at all. Exactly. All right. You guys have any thoughts about tonight's game at all?
Just need Jahmyr Gibbs to score 42 points. I'll have a perfect week.
Just 10. I just need 10 out of him. Give me 10 points, man. That's all I need.
Joe, take your 42.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shut
sure.
up,
Why
Joe.
not? Go ahead. Throw him my way. I'll take it.
Don't be a dick, man. Andy needs 42.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
no,
let's go
just
with that.
10. I don't want Andy to win it. I don't want the points.
Fuck that.
Yeah. I need 6 from I'm on Raw in the league. And that's a full PPR. So hopefully I'm
Good.
all right with that one.
You should
Feel pretty
you
good about
should
your
get
chances
that.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers don't go for like fucking 60, I'm in pretty good shape.
Okay.
Need 2 field goals from Daniel Carlson tonight. That's all I need.
Oh, Jesus.
That's all I need.
Guy and his kickers.
Daniel Carlson. Making bets on kickers.
That's
You're
where we're
Fanatic
at, man.
guy.
You're a
We're
real
at-
sick
what
man.
happens.
Yeah. That's a degenerate right there. That's a
Chase.
that's a
The Monday
degenerate,
night
folks.
chase is what it's called, folks. Monday night chase.
Needs his fix. He hasn't got it.
All right, boys. Good show.
That was a
Let-
dynamite episode.
How long was he waiting?
I don't know, but you should have.
the whole time.
I wanted you to call the segment Dino's Dimes.
Dino's Dimes.
Oh, that would have been good.
That would have been good. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
end this fucking show already. Let's go.
All right, boys. Let's go watch some football. So for Mike, Andy, and Joey G Money, I'm Doug. We'll see you guys next time. Later.
Bye, Dino.